Hello, everybody. I would like to welcome you here today at Presentation Hell. We are broadcasting here from Embark Collective in Tampa, Florida. Today we have a special guest today. It's Valerie Lavin from Luminary Global. Hi, Valerie. How are you doing?
Hello. How are you? Thanks for having me.
And lean a little forward for the microphone here. Just kind of
All right.
keep it up straight. So tell us a little bit about Luminary Global. What is it, and why does it exist? What's special?
Well, there's so many things special about Luminary Global. We sell emergency and trauma kits to first responders, as well as military tactical gear for military personnel, and then the everyday prepper items for the average household that wants to be prepared when their child falls and scrapes their knees, to the extreme preppers that have a room full of items like bug out bags.
Okay, so like this would range from the little Red Cross package that I've got in the business here that has Band-Aids and some, Ambisol and things like that, to pacemakers?
Yeah, well, not pacemakers, no like medical devices like that.
Medical devices
nothing beyond like a tourniquet. So we don't have AEDs or things like that. But we have the basic first aid kit all the way up to EMS bags, emergency medical services bags that the EMTs and firefighters might carry, to mass casualty kits where you would have, whether it was a SWAT team that was prepared or an office, a corporation like Embark.
So you support people when like there's really things are on the line.
We support the professional hero to the everyday hero. Make sure that they have the supplies that they need to really to stop the bleed and save lives.
That's excellent. Is this, if I looked at a very big company, would your competitor be like Medline or AmerisourceBergen or one of those?
North American Rescue. That's a big brand in my space. Yes.
So what brought you into this space? What was it that like at what moment were you sitting there and doing your job, or wherever you might have been at the time? And we'll ask a little bit about your history. When did someone like turn to you and go, "Gosh, we need support here"? And you said, "I have a business."
Yeah, well, my husband and I have had Luminary Global since 2016. I launched it in 2016. I stole him from his firm in February of 2017 because we were growing so rapidly. I was like, I need help. I need you to come on board. So I like to joke that he's employee number one. But we were doing other types of services, talent acquisition, recruiting, staffing, as well as going after some training contracts with the government. My military.
So this is military medical services and things, and supplying some of these environments.
No, it's all but it was all services like people.
Okay.
We were in the business of people, recruiting or staffing as well as training.
Okay.
Fast forward, we had an opportunity. We always knew that we wanted to diversify and bring on products, not just do services. So, to make sure that the survivability and diversity of our company, we had an opportunity to provide tactical gear, tactical medical supplies to an organization. We won the contract, and that's kind of where we've kind of pivoted to supplies. I mean, there are some other nuances that I can't quite talk about yet.
You followed the money. You earned your living.
Right,
you said, "This is where my opportunity is." You pursued it, and you made a business out of it.
Yeah, it's been great. I mean, pivoting to products is probably the best thing for our company, for us as partners. I was in the Army for almost 22 years. We can talk about that later, but I was a manager. I was a leader, and products gives us an opportunity to build and grow as a company. Just the two of us. We don't need investors. We don't need employees. At this point, we are growing quite rapidly. We have some opportunities in 2023 that's going to help us scale faster.
Well, that's excellent. You're in a very good growth situation.
Yeah. Well, I like to describe a chokehold on our growth.
What do you mean a chokehold? What does that mean, as chokehold? People dream of growing too fast.
And I've been in the space of entrepreneurship education since 2015, and I've seen that, where people grow too fast. 2020, we had to kind of take a couple of steps back. In 2020, our strategic plan was to hire a couple of people.
How many people do you have at this point working for you?
I still have employee number one because of 2020. And you know, I truly believe in serendipitous moments in life, and you know, God has a plan. And there was a reason why when 2020 happened, we didn't have any employees. You know,
because it protected. It allowed you to be solvent.
Right. It allowed us to survive. Absolutely. If we had employees, being retired Army First Sergeant, my number one priority would have been to save them. Okay. Right. But because we didn't have employees, it allowed us to save our company.
Well, that's excellent. And you see a big future coming up.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Well, I do, partly because of the controlled growth. Mm-hmm. You know, we work until we think things are falling off the plate, or we're not able to handle it, or it surpasses our skill set. And we take a step back, we look at it strategically, and it's like, okay, is this something that we can automate? Or is this something that we can, hire a third party to handle for us? So we try to automate as much as possible. And my hope is that with my slow growth strategy, we'll have everything that possibly could be automated within our company before we bring somebody on. So all we have to do is introduce them to our systems and processes, and we're not figuring it out as we bring on employees.
Well, that's smart. I'm glad and it's growing well, right? It's taking care of your family and what you're doing, you're paying your bills, everything's ahead of the game.
Luminary is at a point now, it's beyond what I would have expected.
Wow, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah,
I kind of a little secret here. Both Valerie and I are part of Leadership Tampa Bay, class 2023.
Best class ever.
Best class ever. Today's episode of Presentation Hell is brought to you by Shuffler. Shuffler is presentation management, and we make presentations easier for everyone in your global organization. You're an Army veteran.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about your career in the military.
Well, I was in the Army for just shy of 22 years. I was a signals intelligence professional, a military intelligence professional, specifically a cryptologist, like breaking code. Well, not that exciting.
Wow.
Once you're trained
cryptology is a big deal
nowadays.
I
know it is. It is.
So just soak it in and say, yes, I'm very smart.
Well, I think I was the bottom of the barrel, but no, it was really. Of course, when you're going through that type of training, you don't always realize how spectacular it is and how fortunate you are to have that kind of experience, and so it was pretty exciting. I was stationed with organizations or with units across the globe with National Security Agency, which is, one of the three-letter,
one of the three-letter
agencies.
We all worry
about what, so that's pretty much what I did. And then once, Army's just like any other corporation. You make rank and you become a manager and a leader, a staff person. And that's really what I did the majority of my career versus actually breaking code.
All right. Is there any one moment that stood out that was special in your career that you could share? It might be a human environment. It might be coming home on a holiday. It might be I dug a ditch and struck oil.
Oh, wow. How far do you want me to go back? There's so many.
This is what we're here for. Share it. You're sharing it with everyone right here.
Well, a funny story. When I was going through MEPS, I had to take a Morse code test. I asked my recruiter at the time, I was like, do I have to learn Morse code? And he was like, no, your job title is non-Morse interceptor analyst. So I get through basic training, and they start handing out assignments, and I'm going to Fort Devens, Massachusetts. And I asked my drill sergeants, and I was like, why am I going to Fort Devens, Massachusetts? Because my recruiter told me I was going to Pensacola, Florida. And they did not know anything about Fort Devens. So anyways, I get there, and sure as world, I'm going to Morse code training. So, not prepared for that mentally or emotionally.
That's only a small part of the story.
Yeah, and so finally I made it with the acclaimed title of being what we called a code rock. It was slow going for me to catch on to Morse code.
Code rock, that's cool.
Yeah.
Might use it around here at Embark, by the way.
Yeah, and it's not a crown to wear, but I finally made it through Morse code training, and then did end up in Pensacola for cryptology training.
Is that why you're down here in Tampa afterwards, or did you grow up in the area?
Yeah, no, I say I was supposed to be in Florida. My father grew up in Panama City. I call Missouri home. That's where I graduated from high school and then went on to college before I went into the Army. But my last assignment was at Central Command at MacDill, and so that's how I ended up in Tampa.
And that's why you stayed here in Tampa?
Yeah.
Oh, that's excellent.
I got assigned here in November of 2011. I met my now husband in 2013, retired in 2014, and then we got married in 2016. So.
And you never left Tampa.
Never left Tampa. You know, and I mentioned earlier serendipitous moments in your life. You know, and God's plan and paths cross, and there is several reasons why I ended up in Tampa Bay.
Oh, that's excellent. I'm glad you're here because I landed here not too long ago as well, and I find it very special, and I'm very happy that we're connected in our group right here. Yeah. Tell me a little bit. You're involved in a group called the Action Zone. This is a Tampa organization. What is its goal? What does it do? What's your role there?
So Action Zone is an entrepreneur support organization that helps veterans and their family members become entrepreneurs. So if they have the inclination or they've got those butterflies in their stomachs, they want to start their own business, and we can help them from idea. We have a friend, Mike Stedman, who is also a veteran. He uses the term from idea to invoice. You know, any business, we're industry agnostic. So we have several programs to help them with that. But I am one of the co-founders, myself and Rosie Lee, who's a military spouse, George Zwerko, who is an Army veteran, the entrepreneur here locally, and Donnie Nunberger, who also is a veteran. So we're founded by all veteran and military spouse entrepreneurs.
Oh, wow. Is this a volunteer organization to help your fellow veterans, or is it a fund-based thing? Is it a charity?
Yeah, it's an official 501c3. We are heavily funded by Veterans Florida, which is a state-sanctioned nonprofit that helps veterans with employment and agricultural careers, as well as entrepreneurship education. And
if I was a veteran, how would I go about reaching you?
You can go to our website, actionzonetampa.com. You can reach out to me, Valerie at actionzonetampa.com, or
Rosie.
Up there
right now.
Yeah, at Rosie at actionzonetampa.com. Rosie really is the heartbeat of Action Zone. You know,
Rosie Paulson?
No, it's not Rosie Paulson. Rosie Lee.
Rosie Lee.
Rosie Lee. Rosie Paulson, who's also incredible. But
yes.
she, you know,
I was like, wow, this is a short circle.
Yeah, no. Rosie Paulson is also in our Leadership Tampa Bay cohort. But Rosie will get you started. We have cohorts starting in January, actually.
Oh, that's excellent.
Yeah, and it's from, like I said, ideation, where you have an idea, but you don't want to tell anybody because you're afraid someone's going to steal it. You know those entrepreneurs, or entrepreneurship through acquisition. We've had entrepreneurs who've purchased companies that are already generating millions of dollars in revenue, but when you're going from being the employee to purchasing and then CEO, things are much different. So.
And you're doing it by example, I understand.
Well, that is one of the the differentiators of our organization is that we founded by veteran and military spouse entrepreneurs. All of our facilitators are entrepreneurs, which is a requirement. Not necessarily have to be a military entrepreneur, but you have to be an entrepreneur.
Do you have to be a veteran?
No, just an entrepreneur.
Just an entrepreneur. Yeah. So you're in a good place here at Embark.
Yes.
By the way, visiting and such. I love it.
Yeah, I'm very familiar with Embark. Yeah.
I would say personally, Tampa is a great fertile foundation for any entrepreneur who wants to launch a company, be supportive, and have people around you that actually will give you kind advice with the right direction. And it makes a difference to know that there are strong minds around you that are leading you in the right direction.
Yeah, absolutely. Tampa is part of the reason why I stayed here, even, despite meeting my husband and starting our own company here. Tampa has been incredible for me as a transitioning veteran. Absolutely embraced me as I was transitioning from combat boots to from camouflage to skirt and heels, as I like to say.
Skirt and heels, that's
and the entrepreneurial ecosystem is so rich, and it, like you said, it's so welcoming. It doesn't matter the industry, what stage in your business you are. You can find resources and you can find support.
No, I agree with that. I came from New York and found great resources and a fertile area to work with.
Yeah.
Talking a little bit about Tampa. there is a big festival that goes on. It's called Gasparilla. A lot of people don't know about it across the country. I know that. It's, how should I describe it? It's kind of like
it is
Mardi
our Mardi
Gras
Gras
with like St. Patrick's Day mixed in one.
Yeah.
And it's a pirate themed festival that goes on for several days, it feels like.
Yeah.
And it's wonderful. You are a community hero in this festival. Tell us about what makes it, courage, strength, and self-sacrifice makes the difference in this situation. Like, why? How? Tell us about it.
Yeah, I got a phone call one day, and they were asking me all these questions about my work in the community, about being an entrepreneur. And then at the end of the interview, if you will, they said, "You've been nominated to be the Gasparilla Hero this year." And I was like, well, how did I was completely taken back. Like, how did this come about? Who nominated me? I had no idea. But it was an honor. A lot of my advocacy work in the community to support transitioning veterans, specifically veterans and their family members, into entrepreneurship. Kind of find out one of the entrepreneurs who was still active duty, but was trying to start their business had nominated me for this recognition. And it was so much fun. Rosie Lee, my battle buddy, as I affectionately refer her to, she said that in her previous life, she was a winch. She was, like, pirate.
So
like,
this is perfect for her.
Perfect for her. She's even sewed her own outfit. I'm gonna have her on the show. You're gonna love her.
That'd be great.
But part of the recognition is being in the parade, the Gasparilla Parade, and being the I was like the first.
Did you get
vehicle.
to be on a float?
Yeah, well, I was my own private car.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And I got to bring two people, my husband and Rosie, and she wore her amazing pirate outfit. But yeah, I was just like, I was just completely floored that somebody thought enough of me to nominate me, and then I got to be part of something that is so personal to Tampa, which was Gasparilla.
It actually goes on at the end of January, the
it
last
is
weekend in January,
yep.
and it's a full festive event, and anyone who wants to have a good weekend and enjoy a unique party that they've never heard of, or come to Tampa for Gasparilla. It's amazing.
Yeah, it is. You don't have to always dress up as a pirate, but I guarantee you'll have more fun if you do.
Yeah, let's have fun. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
So, Valerie, thank you for coming on Presentation Hell here today.
Thank you.
And everyone, thank you for listening, coming from Embark Studios here in Tampa. Good to have you today. Thanks.
Thank you.